Yeah, let's vote to extend that meeting first.
I move to extend the meeting past the 30 deadline.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is extended. Let's go back to 11. Discussion items,
Actually,
or do we need to close out the executive session?
I think we need to vote on.
What was discussed?
Yes, okay, let's vote on what was discussed first, because we went into executive session. Okay, welcome back. We have a few topics that we went into. The first one is our cybersecurity. Do we have a motion to authorize negotiations?
In motion, I authorize the city manager to negotiate the contract. Can I say with
Yeah,
Alexanet?
yep. We have a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Okay, our other thing was our city attorney and city judge.
So I move to authorize our city manager to negotiate employment for the selected individuals in regards to the municipal court judge and city attorney.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. And our last order of business is to share that our city administrator, Brandon Dross, is no longer in his probationary period of hiring, but is now a leave permanent regular employee,
Non-probationary.
non-probationary employee. And on behalf of the council, Brandon, thank you for your hard work so far, and we look forward to more. With that said,
Need to move.
Yeah,
you need to, part of your hiring agreement, last year when you were hired was a one-time potential for a bonus at the 6-month mark in lieu of a raise at the 6-month mark, sorry. So do we need to motion that?
Yeah, is it paid before the, before that?
It will be on my my second July check.
Okay, so anytime in the fiscal year.
Yeah.
I move to approve a one-time bonus for Administrator Brandon Dross in the amount of 5% of his base salary to be paid in fiscal year 2024.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Okay, with that, we're gonna circle back to where we had to push pause for the agenda. We are on agenda item number 11, which is our discussion. What?
10G, the street.
10G? Oh,
That's
you were right. Okay, to 10G, which is the bid approval for Monroe and Market Street overlay project.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. So yesterday we had a bid opening. Sorry it took us so long to get this out to you all. We wanted to make sure that we had adequate time to turn this over, and the 30 days and the protest period, all that was kind of going on. We're actually still in the protest period if all goes well tonight. So in front of you, there is all 4 bids on the 3rd sheet. So I know that you authorize $150,000 based on the engineer's estimate, but with the project, I think being so small, it wasn't as impactful to the bottom line of the companies who submitted bids. So if we still want to do all of Market in Monroe, like asked a few months ago, it would be an additional $17,890. I don't think that's bad for the work that's going to be done from K&L. As Tetra Tech had mentioned, the low bidder, K&L Industries, is in good standing. They provided their bond insurance, everything possible to make this happen. If you are cautious about spending the additional $18,000, which we have in street funds, we can scale back to where This will not include the improvements to market from third to fifth. I think $18,000 is substantial to do those the three streets on market. So if you do want to move forward with the lowest bid, in addition to the additional expenditure, that would be the council's prerogative. Or we can, if we want to keep it under $150,000, then we wouldn't be able to do those three streets on market. Third, fourth, and fifth.
So it's 150 plus the 17.
Yes, so I originally you had given the authority to go out for bid, and hopefully it's not to exceed 150 based on the engineer's bid. Or the engineer's
Back
estimate.
saying I need 17,000 more.
Yes, so if you're all okay spending the additional 18,000 for the street repairs, if there is a motion to accept the bid from K&L, you may want to include the full dollar amount. So public can say, well, you only said $150,000. You can revise that earlier statement by saying 160, no more than 168,000.
This is just repairing, or is this expanding any of the?
This is complete. Fresh blacktop. This is going to be a complete redo of the streets. So.
And it's just market from third to fifth?
Market from third to fifth, and then there's Monroe from third to seventh. And then so there's two phases on the Monroe side because of the level of work needed to be done. So that's why they separated them out into different schedules and bids based on, okay, this is the Monroe is the biggest issue. This is what we need to get done. So then put your other bids in for these other projects, and if it all came in under 150 would be great. But obviously the lowest bid came in at a little under 168.
Okay.
That's not a bad. Oh, no, not at all. I honestly, some of those bids, I was like, whoa, 200, like the first one was open, 200, I was like, oh. But luckily we got lucky with K&L, if you all choose to go that route.
It was on paper for the back of those down here.
It was.
There was
That
an
one
extra
was-
handout.
So we usually get bids from. Somebody was on here. They've done a lot of,
Commissioner Pavin?
no. Some of them. I can't remember. Popcorn, yeah.
We reached out to them. They felt the bid was a little, they felt the project was a little too small for this type of, just for this season. They got a lot going on, and I thought we were gonna get at least 8 or 9 bids based on previous history, but just with the scale of the project being so small, we didn't get as many bidders as we thought we would.
So are we, they have come in significantly lower than a lot of the other bidders when they do bid. So my thought is, are we doing 2 small projects at once? That we need to say, instead of 150 every year, do we do a 300K every 2 years? That we get more bang for our buck by having those bigger ones come in and say, yeah, we'll knock it out, because the cost is less.
Right.
Versus paying, 170.
I wonder what their cutoff is.
mean,
Probably
they
depends on other work.
Or Hayward.
Sorry, yeah,
Hayward,
Hayward,
right?
yeah, they're the one who did the fire station, right?
Oh,
Hayward.
The parking lot and the park,
Yes.
yeah, and they've done a lot of other, I think they did some stuff down by Terry Park.
Yeah, they were reached out to like Signature Paving. We
Okay.
reached out to them, they just said, we don't really have time for this. That's a great, but I think that the Market in Monroe, me personally, I think Market in Monroe are probably more shape than Bridge. And those are major residential streets that have direct access to the school. So I think, just based on that, but obviously you can reject any and all bids. But I think with the progress we've made so far for the past 2 months on the street assessment, 3 months, the street assessment coming to you all asking for approval. It takes $18,000 to do a major project that shows the residents that we're doing
Another
something.
assessment next year.
Sorry?
We would have to do another assessment next year if we held off.
Well, yeah, we have to do another one next year, and we already have that list that has the priority listings listed on the engineer. And I have some updates for next year on Bridge here in a minute, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It's completely
Maybe-
small.
Future, we could.
Right,
work
Yeah.
that.
so I know you said it's a small project. Did you ask about doing any of patching on Bridge as like part of it, or is that completely separate?
It's separate, and I'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that.
I think there's only one pothole right now.
The rest of the road is just sunken,
Yeah.
sunken, not a problem.
No, there's
Okay, so
Okay,
Is there
I
any-
move to approve the bid of K and L in the amount of $168,000 for the overlay project at Market and Monroe Street.
Second that.
all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so now on to discussion items. Bridge Street update.
Alrighty, so after the advice of the council last month, I met with city staff. Myself and city staff met with members of county staff to talk about closing Bridge Street for commercial traffic. While it wasn't a hard no, the biggest barrier is when you come up Mineral Springs Road, there's a bristle that has like a triangle and it has the yield. The amount of stopping and the amount of lead time to stop is going to be very detrimental to commercial traffic. And they, from what the county is conveying, the width of that street is just that would be on Bridge. So those same issues would start being, we see on Bridge, will start being in a county road. But what did come out of it was, we did, get a good company who they've worked for in the past. And the county can help provide rock at cost for $90,000. It's a 5 to 8 year fix to where we chip and seal Ola Bridge. We come in, they chip and seal, then they come in and do the oil. They're saying it could last us 5 to 8 years. It is $90,000, which is we're spending 167 now on a complete redo on some streets. That is a lot of money to spend, but I think it gives us 5 to 8 years to discuss how we're going to work Bridge Street, get the financing and the funding going on, hopefully the grants, and then now we can look at that. So we have to think, do we want to look at spending that $90,000 and getting rock from the county at cost? While somebody's doing a project with the county, so we're already seeing a savings because they're already in the area. Or we want to keep on managing what we have now and with cold patch
They're providing the rock.
at cost.
At cost and doing what else?
So it would, the timeline would be based on when they're gonna be working in the county already. So a lot of times is the charges to come out and bring the hot mix and do everything, that's a cost alone.
Are they going to be doing an overlay?
It would just be chip and seal. So a chip and seal project, they grind up the street, they spread it back out. And then about a day or two later, depending on the weather, they come in and they do the oil. It'll look how it does now. It's gonna be the same asphalt that we have there now. It's just cut, chipped and sealed to be rejuvenated. So that'll give us at least 5 years.
It looks good. I think it looks good when they do that.
So what,
It does.
so what rock are they bringing in?
Yeah, but with those big trucks, I would chew it up like nobody's business.
Cause rock and oil and all that stuff.
Well, so here's the thing, it's getting resurfaced, so the whole Bridge Street?
We
From
talking third
down
to
City Limits?
17th or
Well,
whatever.
they're down to 14
Abby.
or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, 16th.
For $90,000 and we gotta.
When we don't
it's
have
resurfacing.
anything.
It's the equivalent of a graveled, an oiled.
I know what it is,
Road.
but it's not. Yeah.
It's,
Like
it's
this.
not safe.
And we're bringing options, and I know this may not be the most ideal option. So we don't, I mean,
But we're not even ready to go out for bids for that long-term fix.
correct.
Yeah.
So this will get
Yes.
You guys just patch holes and I'm telling you, there's another pothole. I see.
Yeah. And I know you weren't here at the last meeting, but we talked about the struggles with the cold patch and, we don't
Yeah,
really have the rollers.
Speed bump on some of them.
Yeah,
Was that done recently, like, or in the last few years on like, it was Cooney or Abbey or something like that?
Probably.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah,
Seems
it's
good.
not,
So I say, let's put this on for the discussion next time, or not, no, sorry, action item.
an action item for next time.
For next Tuesday?
no, that's
No.
the July meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When do they need the?
Yeah.
Well,
We already.
it was just
here.
a thought, going, hey, this is what we're looking at. I can see when the next project with the county is gonna be and maybe time it by then, but I think if we at least have it voted on next month,
Yeah.
if
Okay,
there's something you all wanna do.
yeah.
But also the $90,000 is probably gonna come out of the 150 that we budgeted. For me, well,
Next
so I
fiscal
just wanna
year.
make sure, like, that's probably gonna be the only
This will
thing
be
we do
next
next
year's
year.
project, but we'll be
Yeah.
doing it at the beginning of the fiscal year instead of,
Yeah,
right now, we're doing it at the end.
Just
Really
give me-
need the attention.
Yes,
so,
yeah, no, I think this gives us enough time to get that report, the.
PSP
Yeah,
and then looking for grants and.
and
finding-
yeah,
That's incredible. I mean, you know, we go with an idea and they're like, no, but we can give you this.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, capital improvement plan.
Okay.
Yeah, so, okay, so I know with the budget committee, I mentioned, two projects that we're gonna have, a cost increase. So the pedestrian crossing at Highway 99, it's looking like it's gonna be $52,690, so there's an increase of $18,000 that would come out of the street SDC fund.
Why so high?
I'm sorry?
Why so high of an increase?
The engineer estimate originally was 35,000 2 years ago, and obviously it wasn't done over 2 years, so the cost went up.
Okay.
And then the big one that kind of scares me, which I think we really need to think about, is gonna be the water main loop extension over there by Park Avenue. Last year, this current year's budget, we had it for 45,000, and then we bumped it up to 70 this year, the budget committee, after I talked to the engineer, hey, what are we thinking? But then actually, when you get the hard quote, it went up to over 95,000 now. So in one fiscal year, that project went up $45,000. Talking to the staff, it was a want, not a need. The biggest thing is looping services, because we have a dead end right there. And when you loop the services, are we gonna look at Terry Park and future development there? I don't know right now, we're ready to talk about Terry Park, because I don't think we have a plan for Terry Park. And to spend $95,000 to put a water loop in, we're pretty much throwing, we're pretty much
There's
not being
It's
good.
not even on the short list.
Correct. And we still need to talk park plans and what we see for the future of the parks in the city.
It's
Yeah.
not on the list.
So this is just an update.
Yes, so I think we should still move forward on the pedestrian crossing.
Mhm.
I think that's a good win that we can show the community with the connectivity. I would wait on 9 on that water main. I won't completely disregard it, but I think maybe we should.
Well, especially if we're looking at, 90,000 for bridge,
Yeah. So I'm not gonna move
And I
forward with that at
understand
this
it's
time.
different funds, it's so.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but I also see how four benefits, not just we're focusing on bridge, that's down at bridge, the walkability, but it also focuses on us with the urban renewal and trying to revitalize downtown where it helps people be able to cross. Or else that side of town is worthless for walking, shopping.
Correct. Great. So I'm gonna keep it moving forward with
Okay.
4, but I'm cautious about 9. I'm gonna let that sit for a while.
Okay,
Sounds good.
Thank you.
and then we postponed.
The marijuana control next month.
Yeah.
So now we're on department reports.
Department reports, I'll let you lead these sections.
So unless you have any questions, I think it's pretty standard. We did some cleanup on the code enforcement reporting after some feedback from last month. Or the previous month before that. And then Public Works had their report. One thing I did want to go over a couple of things real quick ahead of next month. We have about $13,600 in requests from grants. We had about 9 applications. The previous council, I had asked staff to coordinate each individual grant application to come here and state their case to the council.
Yeah.
Is this something that do you all want to do for next month? Because,
So what you're asking is, do we still want them to show up
correct.
or request them?
Okay.
Yes.
All righty, reservoir permit, the protest period is over. We're gonna give our $3,000 check to the state next week to start the actual process. So hopefully we feel that we can get that permit done in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Probably the August or September meeting, we'll be able to actually have the bids accepted for the reservoir. Trash day is gonna be on the 17th. If anybody's looking to help, we're lacking some volunteers. So if anybody's
Come
looking to
join
help,
me if you want to
Clean it
help.
there, right?
yes.
Okay.
I'm
So if
bringing
anybody-
donuts.
So if anybody wants to help, just let me
Yeah,
know, reach
yeah, my
out to me and
kids.
I can try to find a role for you because we're gonna need help with that. And then
Second
also,
ID.
MAC Water and Light, I'm gonna be meeting with the CEO here in the next few weeks to kind of talk over our current contract with MAC Water and Light. I definitely think there's a possibility for looking about some cost savings for the residents. So I'm gonna reach out to that. And then also 4-way stops are gonna be happening. Just want to communicate them. We did a traffic study, the engineer and the police actually helped us with a lot of the tickets by the school. So we're gonna be looking at doing 4-way stops at both, on 5th Street at both Madison and Monroe. And then 12th and Adams.
That's good.
This is gonna cost them, obviously, this is gonna cost people stopping in front of people's houses. It's gonna be a nuisance. But especially at 50 Madison Monroe, we're having
Oh,
major issues.
absolutely.
So I just want to communicate, we're gonna be doing four-way stops. Unless anybody has any objections, I'm moving forward with it.
I'll
Okay.
move forward with
Go.
Move forward with it.
Awesome, that's it for me.
Okay, any committee reports? Any council reports? Mayor, real quick, I was gonna mention the cleanup day that I was helping with that. So if you guys want to help, you can, but, yay.
I give you Saturdays for you.
What?
I give you Saturday, so you can walk about Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So this Sunday is the Girl Scouts flag ceremony. It is not next Sunday. It is this Sunday. There was a typo, which even after getting double proofed, it somehow got missed. And it was my fat finger that hit the wrong typo, so that's why I didn't catch it. Anyway, so this Sunday, 3 p.m., the Girl Scouts are retiring our flag for us, and also it is the dedication to that food pantry that they are donating. So if you guys are around to stand there and look pretty and just show support, it's 3 p.m. Or anyone who's up right now watching or watching tomorrow, they would love to have you. And I'm just working with LCAT on the 4th of July and the garage sales that day that's coming up. So they're working hard on those and
Pancakes, 7 a.m.
pancakes, what?
Or when you're done,
No, you're good.
okay, something short, relating, something that was told to me, my neighbor said that they got pulled over on Bridge Street for suspicion of driving under the influence of alcohol. And when they explained it, it was driving to avoid the potholes. Everybody had a good laugh.
Yeah, I heard about that as well a few days ago.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it from a few people. Like
And they're
not
out
the
there.
same story, but I have, and that's why bridge is a priority.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that.
I move motion to adjourn.
Okay, well, one of you, okay, all in favor? All opposed? As of motion to go home. Okay,
Sort of the last month, actually same, I think exact same time.
I feel like we got more done tonight, though.
Kevin, I'm keeping my binder and I can just look at my packet from there and put it in myself, okay? Okay.